Hello everyone, welcome to my stream. So today I am doing another Banter Blitz with Chess24 premium members. If you guys want to play me, please challenge me and I'll pick random opponents to play. Any time control in Blitz is fine. So let's start with the first challenge I have here. It's always been a pleasure to play with you guys on Chess24. So this game, we are starting with the Sicilian Blunder Panda. Okay, you have a nice picture. So let's see. Okay. So the knight off is a very sharp opening. Many people play this when they want to win. Okay, what should I do here? Let's try this variation, bishop e3. Bishop e6 is a good move because if castle first, then g4, g5. Suddenly it's very strong attack for white. So bishop e6 is a good move, delaying castle. Normally black should only castle after white's castle. Or he can castle now when I cannot play g4. So the idea of queen d3 is not really to castle long, but just to defend e4. So I have knight d5. In this case, I think knight d5 seems like a good move. So if he takes on d5, I take ed, and maybe I have a4 next move. So now I have bishop pair, I have a4. So I think I'm better here because his knight is not in time to come to b6 and attack d5. So if he play b4 now, I play a5, taking away the b6 square and then making the b4 pawn very weak because I will have rook a4, queen d2 in the future, and that pawn may be lost. So if you take ba, I have rook takes a4, attacking a6, and then I'm thinking knight b6, and then maybe I have rook a5. I don't really like to take on a6 because take, knight bd5, he has compensation. But okay, he played b4, so I have to play a5 to take away the b6 square. And strategically, this is great for white because b4 is weak, a6 is weak. I can play rook a4, but let's just castle first. Or maybe should I play rook a4? Rook a4, knight c5, I cannot really take b4. So let's just castle first and see what he's planning to do. So knight c5, he can always play that, but knight takes c5, d takes c5, fd1 gives white a very big advantage with the pawn at d5, and I can play c3, queen c4. So I'm guessing he should play something like queen c7, queen b7 now. Okay, he did that. That's very reasonable. So let me play rook a4, attacking b4. So queen b7 seems like a logical move. If knight c5, I think I can play queen c4 maybe. Okay, so can I take b4 now? If I take b4, queen takes c2. Okay, that's not really great for me because then yeah, that's not great. I should have played rook a4 before queen c7. So, but now when I play rook c1, will he play queen b7? Okay, let's play rook c1. Queen b7, I can go back rook d1, or I can go bishop f3. Bishop f3 is also a very reasonable move. Just defending d5 and also control e4, preparing queen d2 maybe. So knight c5 is okay, take. Okay, how should I take? I think I like to keep the bishop pair, so I'm gonna take with the knight, and then I'm gonna play c3. So trying to open up the queen side, but maybe I missed something like c4 and b3, but I don't think, well, okay, so he played that. So queen d1 seems like a good move. Yeah, I think before that he should have played queen d7 instead of c4 when he double attacked a4 and d5. But now a4 is defended, so I can take b4. Knight d5 is not a good move because I can play bishop f3 or bishop c4. Queen d5 is also not a great move because I can simply take, or I can even play queen c2. So queen d5 still, he should play this move. Queen d5, queen takes, knight takes, maybe I should take on c4 with the rook. I don't really like that. So let me play queen c2. Just try to get the c4 pawn. So maybe queen b5. Yeah. So the idea is if bishop c4, he has rook takes c4, queen takes c4, queen takes a4, and he wins a piece. But can I play b3 now? b3, cb, queen c8, take everything, bishop b5, b2, rook c1. I have that, so that's good for me. So let's go b3. Bishop b4 has to be played, and bishop c4, queen b7. I have bishop pair, so I'm not too worried about that. So bishop b4, bishop c4, queen b7, and then maybe queen f5 or h3. And with the bishop pair, it has to be very good for white. Okay, queen d7 is a mistake because I just take the pawn and I fix my pawn problems. And this is totally winning for white. Okay, I'll just take the knight and play maybe c5. Yeah, let's go c5. So b5, f4, b6. I can do that, but why should I? Let's just go f3. Make sure that the bishop can drop back to f2, and then let's put the rook back. Rook a3, rook d3 seems a lot easier to play. So just bring the rook there. Maybe go to d7, attack the bishop. Okay, trade. Okay, I'll take the bishop. Let's go to e1, attacking e5. Okay, rook d8 is a good move. Let's go back rook d6. Yeah, let's keep my pass pawn there. So rook c8. Okay, can I? Okay, I should not take a6. Rook d2. Yeah, I shouldn't blunder that. That's bad. So let's go queen d3. So rook d6 cd. I think I'm very close to winning here. Rook c1, rook c1. Am I missing something? So maybe it's better to, I don't know. Let's take it, and then let's go king f2. And queen b2, okay, d7, this has to be winning. Queen h4, okay, check. Yeah, this is a winning endgame, but it was, it has some chances somewhere. So yeah, especially in the middle game. But fortunately, he blundered in the, when he had time trouble. So good game, Blunder Panda. Let me try another opponent. Okay, let's try Beagle. All right, good luck. So this game I am playing black. Let's see. Okay, let me try French defense. This is not a very popular opening at the top level, but it's a sale opening. And people still play it from time to time. So this is called the Tarrasch variation of the French defense. When white sacked a pawn early on and trying to play for compensation, castle is the main move here. And then knight f6, knight b3, knight c6, knight d4, knight d4, knight d4, a6. And that's the starting position of a very big main line. Okay, knight e4 is just a waste of time because I'm gonna give a check on b4 and he has to drop one knight back to d2. So that's just a waste of time. for white. He has to castle anyway, or a3, but then my queen will not go back to b6. Sorry, not to d6, but to b6. So I'm just gonna develop my knight now. a3, I think he's gonna play that, and then I'm going back, queen b6, and bishop e7 just develop normally. Naturally, he should be able to get back that d4 pawn, but it's gonna take him a little bit of time, and then hopefully that gives me enough time to develop my pieces. So let's go bishop e7, knight b3, castle, knight d4, take. Yeah, I think I'm fine there. Well, this move a3 makes it harder for him to regain the pawn on d4. So he should have played knight b3, rook d1 immediately, and it could be around equal. But now it's not so easy for him to get back that pawn because I have queen b6 and rook d8. So it's not so easy for him to get back the pawn now. But of course, he's still ahead in development, so he has compensation. Maybe bishop g5, bishop f4. So the thing I'm thinking about is how to develop my queen side, especially the bishop on d7. So I have option to play a6, queen a7, b5, bishop b7, or I can simply go bishop d7, but then I will allow him to take on d4. Okay, this is a gift. He's just giving me a pawn. He should have tried to get back that pawn, not trade it. So now I'm just a pawn up. For it doesn't really have any compensation here. BC now this B pawn, this C pawn is also very weak. So I'm just developing normally with B6, bishop B7, rook C8, and I have a very good advantage. So yeah, let's go bishop B7. Do I have to worry about bishop E6? Bishop E6, FE, queen E6. Maybe could be a little dangerous there. King F8, knight E5, knight G5, queen E8. I don't think that's too bad. Bishop E6, FE. Yeah, I don't think that's bad. So let's go queen E8 here. Just to defend F7. So maybe he'll go knight G5, trying to sack on E6 or F7. Okay, bishop B5 is not a great move. I can go knight D5, forcing his bishop to go back to D2. Or I can play A6 also. So let's go A6, asking him what he's planning to do with that bishop. So I don't think he should take on C6 because that gives me the bishop pair and a very nice position. So he should go back to D3. But then that move bishop B5 is just a waste of time. And then maybe I can even take on A3. I know I shouldn't be too greedy, but I don't see a refutation for that. So bishop D3, bishop A3, bishop G5, bishop E7 back, and then H6. I'm still very solid there. I don't think he has enough. Okay, so he didn't want to give up that pawn, but this is also bad for white because now I have bishop pair and both C3 and A3 is still weak. So should I take C3? I take C3, he takes E6. I take F3, GF, FE. That's better for black for sure. I can also go queen E4. Yeah, let's go queen E4. Let's try to be solid and positional here. So if he take, I take with knights. This endgame is almost over for white. So he has to keep the queens, maybe queen D2, maybe bishop E3, and then I can take on A3 if I want to. So normally when you are up in material, just keep it simple. It would be the best policy. Go to endgame, be in a pawn up or piece up, just eliminate all counter chances for your opponent. So yeah, here I don't think white has any chance here at all. C3, A3 are very weak. it's impossible to defend them all. So maybe knight e2. Knight e2, I can play something like bishop c6, or rook d8, or bishop c5. Well, I can even take on a3. I don't know why I didn't take on a3. Yeah, so rook b1. All right, knight c3. Knight c3 should be very good. Rook b6, bishop f3, knight f3, knight e2 check, wins a piece. Gf, bishop c5 also wins a piece. So it's over here. Okay, thank you. Good game, Bigo. I think your mistake was c3, the main mistake. You should have played knight b3 and rook d1. That would be a lot better. Okay, let's try another player here. All right, so I am black again. Okay, let's try the same opening, French defense. Okay, so this is a different variation, knight c3. Let's go with the Wiener variation, bishop b4. Okay, c5. Yeah, this is a very complicated variation. Queen g4 is the main move, and it's very complicated. I can go queen c7, sack the pawn on g7, or I can maybe do other stuff. Castle. Let me try king f8. I know this king f8 is not supposed to be too good, but it is keeping the pawn structure compact, and it is asking white to prove his compensation for the pawn structure here. So queen c7, I'm threatening cd, queen c3, and he doesn't really have knight e2 because I have c4 then. Okay, so first question, should I take on d4? So if I take cd, he cannot take cd, right? So he has to take queen d4. Wait, what? Queen c3? Doesn't that win a rook? Oh, maybe, I think he missed this move. But he's still, maybe he's banking on the bishop h6. Yeah, bishop h6, queen h1. I have to take on h1, queen g7, king e8, queen h8, king d7. I think my king is running away. So no problem there. Actually, that was a mistake. I should have played before queen a1. I should have played h5. That would win much. Maybe not that easier because queen f4. Okay, yeah, he still has queen f4, knight g5 then. But I think I'm happy here. Well, not happy, but it's still rook up, and my opponent has to prove that he has enough compensation for the rook. So let's go knight c6. Bishop b5 seems like the most reasonable move. Yeah, I'm not too worried here. I can take c2. I can go king c7, king c7, queen f7, then I lose a knight. Let's go queen g2. Queen f7, I think he's gonna play that. And then, can I take on d4? Knight d4, this is complicated. Knight d4, knight d4, queen g5, queen d6, king d8, queen d6, king e8, bishop e5. I think I'm okay there. Let's go. It's quite complicated, but I think I'm fine there. So knight d4 is the only move. Check. It's not a good move because I have king c7 and this is over. Bishop, yeah, knight e6, bishop e6 is just up a rook for black. So he needed queen e6 there instead of bishop b5, and then, okay, so let's try to solve this. Queen g2 or queen h4. Let's go queen h4. Just keep defending e7. And oh no, I missed that move. Oh no, that's so bad. I should have played queen g2. Oh yeah, this is so bad. Okay, let me go here. No, this is getting very bad for me, but I'll keep fighting. Yeah, I should have played. I should have played queen g2 there instead of queen h4. But still, it's not over until it's over. Let me take the pawn and ask him what he's gonna do. Yeah, I think queen b4 is a big mistake. He should have played bishop d3 there. Here, I think I'm kind of okay. Let's go queen b4. Okay, this is winning for black for sure. I just need king c7 and bishop d7. And then what am I doing? Give a check maybe? Or I don't know, let's take, move the king, go through c8, take this pawn, create some counterplay, go b3, b2. Yeah, this is winning here. Okay, it's not stalemate, he has b6. So b6, queen g7, mate. Okay, I was a bit lucky in this game. I missed that knight f3. Okay, so let's try another one. Okay, Ben. Good luck. Yeah, the last game was really interesting. Maybe white really had compensation there. Maybe I underestimate that. Okay, so I'm playing some strange opening. But it's not that stupid. The idea is knight g6, knight f6, bishop c5, and have a kind of a normal position. Yeah, let's go bishop b4 maybe, or bishop c5. Let's go bishop c5. And then knight f6. So I'm threatening kind of knight g4. And I'm gonna keep my bishop here on this diagonal. So I'm gonna play a5 first to defend against knight a4 threat. And then my bishop can drop back to a7 if necessary. So d6. And then I'll just castle, play normal chess. Now it doesn't look that stupid, right? I have knight h5, knight f4 idea. Okay, should I trade? Take, queen take, knight g4 and f5 maybe. Okay, but I like b6. Just keeping my pawn structure solid on the queen side. He doesn't have to take, he can try a3, b4. So my plan is to go knight h5, knight f4, and f5. Okay, h3 is not so good because now after knight h5, he cannot play g3. He weakened the h3 square, so now he doesn't have g3. So he has to allow my knight to come to f4. Should I come immediately or do I take bc first? There's nothing wrong with bc. So I can always play this knight f4, so I'm not in a hurry. Although maybe it was a little bit better to play knight f4 first. But anyway, my idea is to play f5, knight f4 and f5. Maybe knight f4, knight d3, and then f5. Yeah, that looks better. So The trick is that knight takes e5 doesn't work. I have knight f4, or I can also just take knight e5, queen h5, knight d3. That's the point. So should I go knight f4? And if I do, which knight? That's the question. Okay, let's go with knight h to f4. He should play bishop c2. I'll just activate this rook first, get a tempo, forcing b3, just in case maybe that weakens his queen side a little bit in the future. So should I play f5? I think I should. So let's go for that. f5, take, bishop take everything. White's position is not bad. He can put a knight on e4 after all the trade. And he still has a solid position. But I think it's just easier to play for black. I am gonna play h6, maybe queen d7, double the rooks on the f5, sometimes trying to take on g2 or h3. Okay, so now e4, that's kind of expected. Okay, let me go queen d7. So sometimes I can play a4 just to attack b3 too. Or I can double the rook on the f5 and threaten some knight g2, knight h3 stuff. So that knight on f3 is gonna have to drop back to d2 soon. And then my knight can come to h4, attacking g2. So I think my position is better now. Okay, knight g3 is a reasonable move. I should go back, but where to go? f7, f6, or f8. f7, he has knight g5, so I don't really like that. Okay, and yeah, it's a pity that I don't have knight g2 or knight h3 now. So rook f6 maybe. Let's go to f8. Just make sure that there's no attack on the rook. But yeah, then I don't really have that opportunity to double the rooks on the f5. So that's, I probably have to prepare with h6 and then rook f7, rook f8. So that takes a little bit of time, but I don't think white has too much to do here. So let me go h6. The knight on f3 really cannot move too much because then I have knight h4 and that attack on g2 is very dangerous. So I think this rook b1, rook b2 is not a great idea. He should have played knight e2 and tried to trade my knight. But now I just have knight g2 and this looks winning to me. King g2, rook f3, knight e5, knight e3. That both wins. Queen e4, I have rook f3 at least. And then, well, maybe knight e, yeah, queen e4, knight g f4 is even better. But this is just winning for me. Oh, I see what I missed. Oh, okay, this is winning, but I see what I missed before. After knight g3, I could have played some, no, after rook f8, rook b1, I could have played knight g2, king g2, knight f4, followed by queen h3. So, I mean, on move after knight g3, so that was move 20. Yeah, knight g3, rook f8, king h2. So that on move 20, I could have played knight g2, king g2, knight f4, king g1, queen h3. Yeah, that must be winning. Okay. Yeah, anyway, this is totally winning. So what should I do here? Just keep the pawn, keep the pass pawn, probably. a4, a3. Yeah, white doesn't have any chance here. So let's just keep the pass pawn. Queen f7 is coming. Also, I can try knight g6, knight f4. Okay, good game, good game. Yeah, I think white's main mistake was allowing my knight to be very dangerous. Maybe he should have played knight e2 at some point, trade at least one pair of knights to release the pressure on the king side. Okay, so, oops. Oh, I click on a bullet game. Oh, it's only 1 minute. I forgot about this. But well, okay, it's for fun. Let's try to play it. Although for bullet, it's hard to do banter bullet. But let me just try one game here. Playing bullet in banter is difficult. So, okay, I have to keep the queen side, the king side close. All right, take. Let's go queen c6, queen e4. Okay, I'm winning here. Queen e2, knight a3. Okay, queen a6. Yeah, that's the trick. He doesn't have queen e2 because of knight a3. So now I can just go knight e5 and be a piece up. Okay, this should be an easy win. Take. Okay, so knight up. Okay, so I'm winning this game. But let's try Blitz again. Okay, Blitz challenge me. Blitz only. It's easier to speak, to play Banter Blitz than to play Banter Bullet. So Jup, welcome, welcome. So let's try Sicilian with black. And this is, okay, the Roxalimo. Let's try the G6 move. Okay, what am I supposed to do here? I cannot remember. D6 or is it Queen C7? I think Queen C7 is the move. Kind of a waiting move, but developing one, so I can get the knight there and not to worry about E5. So E5, I have knight D5. Okay, can I go C5 now? I think it's kind of theory here to play C5. The point is E5, I have DE, DE, rook D8, very important move. And then my knights can come to D5. Otherwise, it's very bad for black. So take, rook D8. I think that is theory. Queen somewhere, knight D5. If queen B3, I can play bishop E6 first, and then knight D5. Or rook B8, also a move. So knight D5 here seems okay for black. So my main problem is this pawn on this weak pawn on c5, but I have the bishop pair and some compensation. So my first question is where to put the bishop. I want to put it on the long diagonal. So just to attack f3 maybe, and let's go h6, right? h6, queen e3, king h7, b4, rook c8, seems okay. So just get some space for my pawn. Okay, maybe it's time for the queen to step out of the pin. to go queen b6, maybe attack b2 in some cases, double the rooks. So I think I have very decent compensation here for the weak pawn. White also has a weak pawn on e5, so white has to be a bit careful about that. Okay, rook d1, I think it's a questionable move because I have queen a6, queen a6, queen a6, queen a6. Huh. Rook d1, queen f1, take. That's a draw, it seems. But I don't want to take a draw. So maybe I take bishop a6. So bishop a6. Then he will not trade my rooks. He will go somewhere else. Okay, let's just trade that. Okay, let's trade that. So bishop f3 seems like a very easy draw. But I want more, so I'm gonna go bishop. I'm gonna go bishop d5 and try to play c4. So trying to trade this pair of pawns for, okay, yes, bishop e3, bishop d6, knight c4. Maybe I take. Yeah, that should be a very clear draw. Yeah, that should be a very clear draw here. So king f7, king e6 after e5. I don't think there's much to play on here for both sides. Disconnect. Yeah. But the site is, oh, really? Let me refresh it. Oh, yeah, it is. But let me, yeah, I'm gonna offer draw here because I disconnected for like 10 seconds. Yeah, this position is probably still a draw. It could be winning for black though, with the pawn up, but it's difficult with little time. So yeah, sorry for the disconnection. So let me try another opponent here. Okay, so I am white this time. And let's try with the d4. Okay, my opponent is not responding. Maybe he's not there. So I'm gonna wait 5 seconds before I abort this game and play the next opponent. Okay, he's probably not here. All right, so let's try another game. Okay, I'm black now, waiting for my opponent's move. Okay, let's try this funny opening again with knight c6. Okay, he's not doing anything funny. So yeah, I'm playing very strange move, I know. So yeah, I mean, instead of knight c3, if you go e5, it kind of transposed to Alekai. So bishop e5. Now that's kind of a strange move because I can take a pawn. Okay, I'll take that pawn and see what he's doing. Knight e5, bishop d7. I think he has compensation, but I'm not convinced that he has enough compensation. So knight e5, bishop d7. Okay, that's strange. He should have taken on c6 with the bishop, at least to keep my pawn structure weak. But in this case, he's gonna have to spend some time to get back the pawn on e4. And I'm not sure he will get it back. So let me try to defend that pawn. So rook e1, I'm gonna play b5. Yeah, b5 seems okay. Bishop e3. I shouldn't be too greedy about that pawn. Queen d4, he has d3, ed, bishop e3, and queen e3. Yeah, that's too risky. So let's not be that greedy. Let's just go bishop c5. So knight e4, knight e4, rook e4. I am planning to play knight d4. At least take the bishop and play normal chess. So nothing too crazy here. I'm gonna go castle, take the bishop, and play very solid chess. Bishop e3, I think, is the best move here. Knight b3, ab. Okay, my pawn on a6 is a little bit weak, but it's probably not too bad. So bishop e3, knight b3, ab. I'm thinking bishop d6, keeping the bishop, and okay, c3 is also a reasonable move. Now, should I play f5? It's an anti-positional move. Yeah, it's not something I want to make. So let's go rook d8. So forcing him to play d4, and then I go bishop e7, trying to play c5 next. So I'd say I'm okay here. He has to play b4 now, otherwise c5 is really good for black. So b4, c5, bc, bishop c5. Okay, he didn't play that. So c5. Now I get rid of my problem here with the pawn. So what to do here? Okay, let's take that pawn. Bishop d4 is a good move, and then yeah, this position is around equal, I think. Let me try and go f6 and e5. It should be around equal. Not much is going on here. Bishop e3, queen c6 maybe. Well, my main problem is just that pawn on a6 is a little bit weak. That's the only issue I have. Okay, rook a1, interesting move, queen e6. So am I winning the pawn on b3? Yeah, I think instead of rook d1, he should play bishop e3 there. That would be okay for white. But now I'm winning that b3 pawn. So bishop e3, queen takes b3, rook d7, queen e6, followed by rook d8. Seems better for black. Unless white has something concrete, a big attack or something, then white could have compensation. But if not, then black is just a healthy pawn up. And white will have to defend. Very difficult to make a draw here. So what should I do here? I can trade everything. So queen d7, rook d7, rook d8. He has to take on d8. And then again, the bishop endgame up one pawn. I think it's pretty good winning chances here with king f7, moving the king to d5. I don't think he should play c4. Okay, that gives me a passer on the a5, and yeah, that doesn't look great for white actually. That does not look great for white. I can play f4 and try to play e4. So king f5 and e4 is coming. Let's go. Oh, am I missing something? e4, king d4. Huh, maybe I missed that. That's a terrible miss. e4, king d4. I don't have bishop b6. And his king is getting to d5, and the pawn can be dangerous. So I have to stop that with bishop b6. But now he has f3. So, okay, I have to take it a little bit slower. First, stopping that pawn on c4. Second, putting my pawn on a4. The farthest it can go. And then, okay, this is a big mistake. I can go bishop d4, bishop d4, king c2, bishop d4, king c2, bishop b2, king b2, e4, fe, king e4, king a3, king d4. Yeah, that's a win. That's a win because I trade my a pawn for his c pawn, and then I have one more pawn on the king side, which I will be able to create a pass pawn there and win this game. So king c3 was a big mistake. He should have played some waiting move like bishop c3, bishop a1. Okay, I'm not sure if that endgame can be won for black. Black's idea is to go g5, h5, g4, but again, it's not so simple there. So let's try another opponent. So Blitz game 5+0, I am black here. Okay, let's go for knight f6. Okay. So I'm trying to play the King's Indian. He's playing the fianchetto setup, which is considered to be very solid for white. So white has many ideas here. He can try with c4 or without c4. Both are okay. c4, knight c3, e4 is the typical way. You can also play like knight c3, rook e1, e4. Yeah, so almost any move is playable here. Not much is going on. Okay, e5 is, I think, is the best move. Now white can choose de or d5. Again, both are playable. So bishop g5 is not supposed to be the main line, simply because you shouldn't trade that bishop for the knight too early. So now if you take de, I don't have to take de, I can take knight takes e5, and that opens up the long diagonal for the bishop. So if you want bishop g5, you should take de first and then bishop g5. So in this case, I don't want to trade the queens anymore, so I take with the knight and the bishop. And the bishop is very good on the long diagonal. It will drop back to g7 soon, and maybe I'll go c6. Yeah, c6 just to take away the d5 square for white's knight, and then maybe I'll go queen d7, rook d8, queen d7, rook d8, bishop f5 also. So I'm trying to play very solid here, and in the long term, this dark square bishop is really strong on the long diagonal. Okay, I'm gonna push this pawn to h5. So people are calling this pawn the alpha zero pawn with this h4 or h5 move, and then try to attack with that pawn. But I mean, this idea has been played by many grandmasters in the history of chess. So I guess that alpha zero is just learning from us. So, okay, anyway, I can play h4 now, but also the idea of h5 is to put the bishop on g4, try to kind of gain a tempo and see what white is doing. Okay, let's, okay, is f5 a threat? I don't think so, but let me just be, yeah, be careful of that move because sometimes he can play f5 and trap my bishop on g4. But in this case, I think I'm okay. I don't have much to worry about. If f5, I just go back to c8, and then I have the beautiful square on e5 for my bishop. So what is he trying to do? I'm not worried about f5. Maybe he's trying g4. Okay, let's see. So my move a6 is preparing for b5, trying to attack his pawns in the center. So g4, I don't believe it's good for white because I can just take queen h4, and I think that's okay for black. So, okay, interesting, f5. So should I go back to d7 or c8? Let's go to d7, just to defend c6 in case he wants to sack with e5, queen c6, something like that. But in general, I'm not too worried about that. I can put the bishop on e5. He can play f6, but then queen f8 and then rook e6. So it may feel like black's position is cramped, but actually black is very flexible here. No weakness, and black is defending everything. So I can go queen g7, or queen g5, or queen f6. Let's go queen f6. Yeah, let's go queen f6. If fg shouldn't be worried too much. So right now a2 is hanging, and I also have some h4 idea. So yeah, the more he opened the position, the weaker his king will be. So okay, now h4 is very strong. So d5 is the move here. Bishop b5, knight e4, cd. Yeah, this has been played many times. Supposed to be equal, but it's not so easy. In fact, Grandmaster Wesley So played this line against me in the Banter series, in the Banter Cup semi-final a few months ago, and I didn't do very well against it. So I'm trying to learn from the best and try to use this opening against my Banter opponent today. So Bishop b6 is the main move. Bishop b4 is also a move, but you don't really want to trade off your active pieces. So this should be a little bit better for white. So castle, maybe I should take that knight because otherwise the knight comes to e7. So I'm gonna take that knight and castle. So black is having some issue there to defend. So I'm hoping that I have some advantage with play on the c5. So like rook c1, rook c3, rook c1, and attack c6. Yeah, I think the way he played was not the ideal way. He should have played some f6 earlier, or maybe take on f3 somehow. But this is nice for white, I think. Fe, queen takes e5. Okay, so let me go ef. Let me go ef. Rook takes, then maybe queen back somewhere. Queen e3, queen. Let me go queen g3. And then knight e5 is coming. Okay, queen h4 now. Rook g4, queen h5. Yeah, not sure what the rook is doing there. Maybe it has an idea, but it's risky. Maybe he can go rook e4 or something. Okay, what if I play knight e5 now? Knight e5, bishop h5, knight d7, rook a6. Okay. Okay, let's just go back queen h3. I don't need all of those fancy stuff. So just go queen h3, knight e5 is the next move. You cannot really stop that. So knight e5, rook f4 is only move, and then I can take on f5 and take on c6. So just be a pawn up. Okay, that's a big blunder. But even if he play rook f4, it would have been winning for white anyway. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, let me see. So Angel Killer GMs. Okay, sounds like a really strong opponent. So let me try this player. Wait, is his picture Rajabov? Okay, he's a fan of Rajabov. All right, so let's see. We are waiting for his move. Okay, are you there? Okay, he's here. All right, so this is a 3 minutes game, no increment, so I got to play a little bit faster than the previous games. So, okay, he's playing London system. This opening has become very, very popular thanks to the World Champion discussion. But I don't think this way is the most challenging way to play for white. I mean, this queen c1 is not the most challenging way. Okay, that's not a very strange move. So I can go knight e4. Yeah, I don't think his opening choice was great. So he had to play queen c1 back now. Okay, queen d3. What if I take on b2? What is he doing? I'm not sure what he's doing. Knight bd2 c4 seems like that is winning. No, knight bd2 just knight d2. And then c4. Yeah. So he has to play maybe queen b5 here. Yeah, that's his idea. So queen b5. Okay, I'm gonna take. That's really a strange way to play the opening. If I take a1, he take b7, then he has strong attack. So I should just play f6 here to take away the e5 square. And then I'm gonna play a6. and this should be very nice for black. CD, I'm gonna play AB, DC, BC, and I'm a pawn up, and the bishop pair. So everything is great. If bishop C6, I'm gonna play BC anyway. So DC, BC, yeah, this is great for black, no question about it. Okay. Okay, I got to take, and maybe go C4. So I have a protected pass pawn, and the bishop pair. So this is great for black for sure. He has to play some A4 move. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna go rook A8, and then he has no chance to play A4 again. So C3, this is over. Okay, good game. Yeah, I think the way he played the opening was very questionable with Queen C1, Queen D2, Queen D3. You shouldn't play too many moves with one piece in the opening. That's one of the main principles in chess. So let me try another opening with white, C4. Okay. So King's Indian for black. That's interesting. Let me do something crazy with H4, H5. I'm not supposed to play like that, but again, people seems to like alpha zero move these days. So maybe I'll put my knight on G5. Not sure what to do here. Let's go bishop G5 and see what he's planning to do. Okay, Queen D2 maybe. So my kind of threat is knight E4. Queen takes D2, I'm planning to take with the king. And I have some threats like knight C5 or knight F6 or knight D6. It's not much, but it's not so easy for black to deal with. So let's say bishop B2, I have rook B1, bishop A3. Okay, what is that move? Let me go knight F6 check. So if he takes, I have good bishop pair advantage. If he doesn't take, then it's hard for him to develop his pieces. So let's say king F8. I can take CD, try to get that pawn, or I can play something like rook C1 first, and getting ready to recapture on C4 with the rook. I think I'm slightly better here, maybe a little bit more than slightly. But the point is, it's hard for black to develop his queenside pieces. So, okay, I'm gonna go knight H3, knight G5, trying to harass the rook. Okay, did I make a mistake? Seems that I did. Maybe my bishop is trapped now. No, not really, it's not trapped. Let's go back to C3. So D4, I have bishop C6, and then bishop A5, and my bishop escaped to the queen side, and his pawns, especially the one on C5, is very weak now. So I need my knight to attack it. How do I bring my knight to attack it? I can bring it to E4. So let's go first with F3, and then knight F2. He has to play F5, and then my knight will come back to G5. Well, it's still an equal position. I need my knight to, yeah, my knight I really needed to go to somewhere like B3, but it's really far from there. So let's just keep it there for now. The knight is active on G5. So I can try to play E3, open up the center with rook E1, maybe. My bishop on A5 is very useful for now. It stops him from moving any pieces there. And then I'm gonna go rook E1. And I'm threatening E takes D4 now. So what does he want to do? Okay, that's a mistake because ED and his center pawns are on folding. So he should have played King D6 there or 97, maybe 97 there. But 97 I have F4 and King D6, maybe I have ED, CD, F4 or rook takes E5. Yeah, I think that position was already bad for black. So, okay, E4, that's a good attempt to complicate the game. Let me just take the pawn. FE, knight takes E4 seems like an easy way to win. King D6, rook F1 should be totally over. Let's just take the pawn here. Bishop C3 is now a threat. Okay, let's just go rook F1, just controlling on the open fines. So yeah, black has no counterplay at all here. I can give it a check. Or maybe let's take that rook and then go rook E7, rook C7. This is totally lost for black. Rook C7 or rook A7 first. I have too many pawns here, and he doesn't even have a single space for the rook to attack my pawns. So, okay, good game. Let me try another one. Okay, so let me try this B3 opening. I play it from time to time, and I saw that many strong players like Napoleon Hikaru sometimes play this too. So it cannot be too bad, especially in Blitz. Okay. My opponent is not responding. Let's give him 5 more seconds before I abort this game. So hopefully he's there. Okay, he's not. Let me find another opponent. All right, let me try B3 again. Okay, he's not responding either, so I'm gonna abort it. Okay, let's find another opponent. So here, okay, is he there? He's not playing. Am I having some internet issue again, or is It's good, yeah? Okay. Okay, maybe he's just not there. So let me just abort this game. Okay, let's play another opponent. All right. Please play. Okay, great. Okay, this is kind of a strange opening, isn't it? Let me take this. Yeah, I don't think white has too much here, but also, of course, it's not not a disaster for white. But normally you don't really want to do this with white when you don't get any advantage. So let me take on e4. The problem with DE now is that I have queen b4, so he has to play. Yeah, he had to play queen e4 there. This is very good for black already. Queen c3, queen e4, bishop e2, castle, knight f3. Yeah, I think this is great for black. Okay, let me go knight c6. You can castle along. Castle shot. Knight g3, maybe I go queen f4. F3, I go queen a4. Just a pawn up for black and very nice position. A3, bishop e6, and then followed by rook a8. Black is already more than 5 here. Pawn up, and white has no compensation. Bishop d3, I assume is the best move. And then I can go like rook d4 or rook d5. Okay, what if I go knight d4 here? Let me try knight d4. So I am attacking e2. Now he has to play bishop d3. And then bishop d3. Maybe I have rook d7. I don't know. Okay, let's just trade the queens again. That's my principle. When you are up in material, just keep it simple. And we all know that pawn endgame is the simplest endgame you can get. So let's just keep everything very simple. No chance for him to complicate anything. Trade everything, get into the pawn endgame, and win the endgame. Yeah, I could also play a little bit more active, like knight b4, knight d5, knight f4, which honestly I wish I have done, but there's nothing wrong with this either. So I can do it now, knight e7, knight e5. Knight f4. Yeah, knight bishop e2 is a bad move. It helps me with my idea, with my plan. So knight f4 seems like a good way to do it. Or do I have rook c6? Rook c6, c4. Okay, let's just go knight f4. Yeah, rook d6 is a good move. Let's take with the rook. G3. And then maybe I go knight h3. I'm not sure why I play knight h3, but just feels like it's okay to do that. And then f4, maybe bishop f5. King c1 is only moved, rook d3, so he's losing another pawn here. So another pawn is gone, and it should be very easy win for black here. Okay, so I didn't do anything special, but just kind of wait for him to make mistake. Okay, so I see a grandmaster challenging me, and his rating is very high, so I'm gonna take this game very seriously. And this is a 3 minutes game, I believe. So the London system is not a bad opening. We will see. So yeah, this seems like a good version for white because white has the center and the better development. So I have to take control of the center immediately. Okay, let's play d5 to, again, keeping a good control of the center. And then maybe I'll prepare for e5 with rook fe1, e5. It should be a little bit better for white, I think. Okay, should I stop c4? Should I stop c4? That's the question. Okay, let's stop it. So the problem is it's not so easy for black to create counterplay on the queen side. In the meantime, it's relatively easier for white to attack on in the center and the king side, like to prepare e5 or maybe f4, f5 or f4, e5. So yeah, he's trying to play b5, but after knight c4, if he play b5, I have knight a5, knight c6, so that's good for white. Okay, queen c7 is relatively a logical move, relatively. So I'm thinking to play queen e2, queen e2, b5, maybe knight a3. And let me play knight a3 immediately so that he doesn't have b5. So it's difficult for black to generate any counterplay here. When I keep everything under control, I'm gonna play rook a1, maybe bishop g3, f4. So if queen d7, maybe I take on e5 and go knight c4. So let's go rook d1 here. So I'm gonna play against the pawn on d6. Rook e1 seems like a logical move. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna take the knight, go knight c4. b5, he has to play this move. And then knight takes e5, d takes e5, and then I have to think, maybe queen e3. Oh, I missed that move. So what's the idea? So AB, rook d6, queen e4, queen b5 wins a pawn for white, but black may have compensation with rook g5. So if I take rook e5, de, okay, that's not so clear. Let me try that. It's not so clear, but I'm gonna go for that. Queen e4, queen b5, rook g5, and then g3, or queen f1. Interesting, queen e2. I didn't expect that. So what if I go rook d8, rook d8, take, and then, okay, let me just take here and go for this endgame. Seems easier. So let's go rook king f1. let's trade one pair of rooks, and then go back rook d2. So try to play this king e2, king d3, and then maybe king c2, rook d8, trying to attack his pawns. Rook, let's go g4. So g4 stop both h5 and oh, I missed king e7. That's pretty bad. But I'm still pawn up, so it's not a big deal. So okay, I should have kept the rook and would have won on time. But oh wait, I won on time. Oh, okay, I won on time. That's surprising. I thought he would remove king takes f1, but I won on time. Well, the position is a draw, of course. But it was a very tough game. So let me try another high-rated player here. And then at the end, I'll try to play lower-rated player. So let me try this b3 move again. So yes, yes. Okay, sure, thank you. Okay, so I'm playing some strange move here, but the point is this position is playable anyway. So I don't really mind playing some strange move. I have to play g5, I guess. He can play h4, e3. Yeah, I think my position is completely fine. Oh, but this knight f5 can be annoying. Yeah, this knight f5 is annoying. So I have to go rook g1. This is not ideal at all. But what can I do? So I have to force him to take on g2. Or, well, if he play knight b4, I have to take e3 and then a3. If queen a5, I play king f2. So the opening, I would say, didn't go my way. But it's okay. I'm not too worried. Oh, wait, what? Interesting move. So what's the idea? If I take on e3, it just wants to open up that diagonal for the bishop. That's very interesting play. So if I take bc, what is he planning to do? Let's see. Okay, can I go c3? c3, yeah, I think c3. Oh, c3 he has knight h2. Okay, never mind, doesn't work. So I have to go king f2, and now he can play bishop c5. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Can I play f5? Or maybe not. Can I play c3? c3, bishop c5? Not really. Not really good. But what's wrong with bishop e3 and queen e3? I don't get it. What is he planning to do? So he wants somehow to get the bishop to that diagonal, but it's a long way to go. Okay, so I can take, knight take. Yeah, maybe this is not ideal. This is not great. This is not great for me. But I have been in worse position before, so this is not a big deal. Shouldn't be worried too much. So I'm trying to slowly improve my position, somehow getting my pieces out of those pins, and then maybe, just maybe, trying something. Let's go rook d2, getting my pieces out of the pins and threatening knight h4. So he has to play bishop c5 in some move, in some lines, but I don't think it works here. Okay, I'll take with the king, I guess. And now, of course, I don't go d4 because then he has this trick with queen g3 after ed, cd, queen g3, but I just go queen e1 and take on h4. And then go king e2, defending everything. And I should be winning here. Totally winning here, I think. But the trick is to play fast and not blunder something big. So let's go with the attack here. Okay, so I won this game. Let me try one more game with a slightly lower rated opponent, just to make sure that, well, I still have a lot of challenges here, so I apologize for those who waited and couldn't play me, but I try to play with as many players as I can. So, good luck in this last game. Yeah, the last game, I think I did not play the opening very well. It was definitely much better, but it was very questionable when he gave a lot of pawns for free and he didn't have enough compensation. And once I consolidated it, it was very difficult for him to do anything. All right, so let's try the Dutch defense. Okay, so Leningrad variation has always been interesting to me, and I play it from time to time. So the idea of this knight h3 system is to bring the knight to f4. But here, I think I'm okay with this e5, trading the queens, and cannot be too bad for me, right? I have e4 or knight d7. I can also play knight d7. Let's go knight d7. And then bishop e7. Okay, I'll go h6. Oh no, I missed knight e5. Knight e5. Oh, that's bad. Knight e5. Okay, this is getting very bad for me. So, okay, that's a big miss. Terrible miss. So hg. Okay, I have to go for that. Knight f7, king e8, and then knight f8, and trying to trap his knight. Well, this is terrible, but I still have some hopes here. If I could get that knight and get 2 pieces for the rook, then I may have some chances. So how do I get that knight? I can go knight g4, I can go knight g4 and then bishop f6. Or I can go knight g8 or knight h7 too. So where's the best square for the knight to go to? I think g4 is okay. Kind of looks a little bit more active on g4 than on other squares. So you can go back to e5 maybe. Knight e5, f4. Very difficult to say. Okay, I'll go back to e5. I can also go to h6. Very hard to say where to go, but I'll go to e5. So f4. Okay. Yeah, this e4 is kind of a big help to me because then I'll keep the center close with f4, and then he cannot really prevent bishop f6. And now I think I'm better. He should have played f4. That was a critical move. And then gf, knight back to d7, and then e4. Bishop f6, ef, and it's very, very unclear. But this is great for black. This I cannot complain. So I have everything I wanted. 2 pieces for the rook and a great position. So rook d2 is now a threat. I hope he sees that. So bishop e2 has to be played, or king g2. But it's still a great position for me. I can play g4. I can play, yeah, g4 I like. Okay, this is a big mistake. So a small tactic wins a knight for me. All right, let me just play one more game because we had some internet connection before. So let me just play one more game to make up for that time. I'll play the lowest rated opponent I have here. I think he's okay, Pablo. Yeah, try to play opponents of own ratings. So Pablo, good luck in this game. I know you can do better than this rating points. So yeah, hope that you guys had some fun watching my stream. So this will be my last game for today, and I'll continue to do many Banter Blitz sessions in the future. Okay, Pablo, are you there? Okay, great, he's here. So this line has been played many times before. Bishop d6, bishop c5. Bishop c5, is that a mistake because I can take the pawn? Yeah, I think I can take it. dc, bishop e5, queen d5, knight f3, and white is a pawn up. So bishop c5 was a mistake. He should have played bishop d6. That was supposed to be better. So I'll just develop the knight now. This should be good for white. I'll castle, play d4. Castle, d4, and it is a very nice position for white. Okay, what should I do here? Take, okay, let's take and play d3 maybe. So queen d6, I'm planning d3, knight bd2, just keep everything solid. Okay, same thing for CD. I'm just gonna play d3, then bd2. It's more flexible to play d3 than play d4 because then after d4 you have weakness on e4, but here you have knight bd2, getting the queen out and then later on I can try to play e4 or d4. But Pablo is doing very well. He didn't make any big mistake other than the bishop c5 move. He's playing reasonable chess. So, okay, black has compensation here for sure. It's not too bad. Okay. Yeah, so centralize your pieces is always a good strategy. Rook e8, rook a d8, rook fe8 is good. So bishop has to go back or yeah, it has to decide where to move the bishop back. Okay, I'm gonna go knight f1, knight g3, just to chase that bishop away. So I'm better, but it's still a long game to go, and I cannot make any mistake here. So knight g3, bishop g6, and then maybe knight h4 or knight d4, and trying to play f4. So again, when you're up material, just trying to consolidate, trade some pieces, and yeah, and then go for the end game, I guess. So bishop g6 is okay. That's strange. That's strange because I can take on h5 and go knight d4. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Knight h5 and then knight d4. And then that move b5 is not a good one because you're just creating another weakness on c6. So again, I'm trying to play very simple chess. Trade off some pieces, the queens, and then trying to win in the end game. Actually, instead of queen g4, I could have played knight c6. That would have been better. Knight c6, queen c6, queen h5, queen c2, queen d5. Yeah, that's much better. I don't know why I missed that. Yeah, that would have been a lot better. But anyway, still winning position here. So b4 is a useful move because I want to fix his weakness on b5 and prepare for next move a4. So if I had played a4 immediately, he could have played b4. So that would not be so great. But yeah, here I can play a4 and attack his weaknesses there. ab, and then, okay, I'll start first with f3 very slowly, and then take the pawn on c6. Yeah, I'll take the pawn on c6. Yeah, he can have rook e3, then I have rook a8, and then I'll win at least one more pawn. So you can check now, and then let's go king f2. Nothing to, yeah, no need to rush here. Just go very slowly and take another pawn on b5. Okay, he blunders the knight, and then I just take all his pawns. So yeah, it has been he didn't make any big mistake, but there's just some positional mistake here. I could say that Pablo, you did much better than your rating points, and you just make a few positional mistakes like bishop c5 and b5, so creating a lot of weaknesses for yourself. But in general, you didn't blunder anything too big. So yeah, good game, Pablo. And thank you all of you guys for watching my stream today. Hope you guys have fun, and I look forward to see you